Nobu Sunaga is a financial journalist working for a Japanese news agency. For the last year, he's been reporting from Frankfurt.
It's very, very interesting, and simultaneously it's very, very busy and a tough time.
Mornings are hectic. The editorial deadline in Tokyo is at 11 a.m. German time. Nobu Sunaga's colleagues in Japan want to know the latest developments in the unfolding European debt crisis. The euro has become a hot topic in Japan, so Sunaga's reports increasingly wind up on the front page.
I think this is the article of Bundestag. As you know, that Bundestag approved give more power to the rescue fund. And it is not known in Germany or Europe that Japan is the biggest investor in this European rescue fund. So yes, no one knows that in Germany or Europe. But yeah, this is true. So this theme is very, very important for us.
The Japanese state has injected 2.7 billion euros into the European Rescue Fund, or EFSF, purchasing some 20% of the bonds issued. At this asset management firm, they discuss the scenario many investors fear most. What happens if Greece defaults on its debt?
There would be a banking crisis in Greece which could lead to a more severe economic crisis. That scenario is less likely than a union with transfers from wealthier to less well-off states. And the third scenario, the most unlikely, is a Eurozone collapse, but they try to avoid that.
Still, uncertainty remains. Nobu Sunaga is especially worried about the capitalization of Europe's banks.
Japanese think that the more state money for European banks are necessary, because without that, the European banks would fail, and the contagion could be going to Japanese banks. So it's very necessary.
But many are unwilling to bail out the banks with more money from taxpayers, like the members of this anti-globalization organization.
Well, welcome to the attack head office. Yeah. Everybody is working for the demonstration, you see people.
They're making posters for the global day of protest sparked by the Occupy Wall Street demonstrations. Attack's members are also protesting against the strict austerity measures imposed on indebted countries in the Eurozone. Nobu Sunaga is amazed.
In Japan, it's not usually that people make demonstration, because we think that such demonstration can change little, you know. So do you think this is the effective way to change something in political area?
I think it's one of the necessary ways to change policy. First of all, what you influence by these kind of demonstrations is public discourse.
Yes.
And public discourse is a start to bring discourse into parliaments. And in parliaments, of course, people have to decide.
Yeah.
But this needs public pressure from outside. And we see ourselves as a movement to put pressure up on politicians who are currently not acting in a right way.
Nobu Sunaga just has time for a bite of sushi before leaving for the airport. He reports on developments at all the EU's debt crisis summits. Meanwhile, protesters are voicing their anger at the banks, with some 5,000 demonstrating in Frankfurt alone. And more protests are planned for next weekend to coincide with the next summit.